What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NASCAR Truck Series slate on Draftkings for Darlington. We got a big weekend this weekend, 3 NASCAR races, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll be doing live streams before all of them. Friday, probably tomorrow night, like around 5 o'clock. And I'll be doing one Saturday night as well before the Xfinity race. And then Sunday, probably around 12:30, 40 Cup Series race. So be sure to tune in for that. If you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. It really helps me grow. If you want to get more of my content, you can always subscribe to my Patreon. I'll put the link down below. $10 a month, you're going to get content for all 3 series combined: Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series, projections, what each driver needs to do to pay out their salary, a bunch of stats, 2 different spreadsheets, past optimal lineups, what I expect optimal line to look like for each race. So be sure to go check that out below. A few more other things over there. I'll put the link for that down below, as well as follow me on Twitter as always. This is my first video I'm recording today. About to pump out 3 videos real quick. Because, we got 3 races this weekend. Be sure to check out those other 2, Xfinity and Cup Series videos. But let's get into it. We're going to start out with John Hunter Nemechek. He's the highest priced driver this week. We got, this week we finally have no Kyle Busch. I like that. I hate when Kyle Busch, honestly, when Kyle Busch is in the Truck Series, I just don't play as many lineups. It's just so frustrating. It's so chalky, and I hate it. So I like when we don't have that. But now John Hunter Nemechek looks like he's taking over the Truck Series this year. He's by far the best truck in this field. Like, I don't even think it's close anymore. He's gonna win a championship this year. Unless he screws up at Phoenix, he's going to win a championship. Let's just put it that way. He's definitely the best car. He's going to need to lead laps, and I don't see why he won't. Starts on the pole, should get out to an early lead. Second best average finish at intermediate tracks, 6th at steep tracks, best average position at intermediate tracks, and best at steep tracks. When you look at laps led, he has 223 laps led at intermediate tracks and 198 at steep tracks. And in the last 5 races, he has the 5th best average finish, 2nd best average position, and 259 laps led. It's not even close when you look at laps led. 259, and the next highest in the field is 71. So, yeah, John Hunter Nemechek's been the class of the field right so far this year. I expect that to continue here. He's going to be my favorite dominator play in this race. He'll be chalky, but I don't really care. I'm going to want to get to him. Grant Enfinger, he is $10,700. He's going to need a top 3 to pay off this salary. Back in the Thor Sport number 98 truck this week. I like him as a good solid play. 5th best average finish at Darlington, 5th at intermediates, and 5th at steep tracks. 7th best average position at Darlington, 5th at intermediates, and 7th at steep tracks. When you look at laps led, he does have 423 laps led at intermediates and 139 at steep tracks. In the last 5 races, he only has the 13th best average finish, but 11th best average position, and 71 laps led, which is the second most in the field. He can definitely get out front and lead some laps as well. Definitely. You're playing, he'll pay it off as a place differential play if he gets that top 3, but, you're really still playing him someone that you expect to get out front and lead laps. That's what you're going to want from him. He's going to have to lead laps and be finished top 3 more than likely to produce John Hunter Nemechek to be in an optimal lineup. I highly doubt both of them are, so that's what you're looking to play from Grant Enfinger. You do want him to get out front and lead some laps. Parker Kligerman's up next. He's going to need a top 13 to pay out the salary. Really like him here as well. He has, I don't know any data for races for him at Darlington. He has the 14th best average finish at intermediates and 16th at steep tracks. When you look at average position, he has the 13th best at intermediates and the 15th at steep tracks. He's not going to really lead you any laps. 15th best average position in the last 5 races. Whoa, that's not supposed to happen. Hold on. All right, I don't know why that happened. So yeah, Parker Kligerman looks like a pretty good play. I can see him getting a top 13. We've seen him get top 5s before. He's usually better at like the shorter tracks, but he still does fine to intermediates. I prefer Enfinger and John Hunter Nemechek if you're paying up, but I don't hate him at all. Sheldon Creed's an interesting one here. He had a good run. He ran well at Kansas last week, led, I believe, 41 laps. Ended up having some issues and did not, finish high. But when you look at Darlington, only the 13th best average finish, 9th best at intermediates, and 13th at steep tracks. But if you look at average position, it just seems like he gets a lot of bad luck. Best average position in the field at Darlington, 3rd best at intermediates, and 3rd best at steep tracks. That's kind of impressive. Only 82 laps led at Darlington, my bad, which is actually the most in the field. We don't have any data for John Hunter Nemechek in a good truck at Darlington. I don't really want to count his days back when he wasn't in good equipment. But he has led laps at Darlington, 548 intermediates, 157 at steep tracks. I think he's an interesting dominator play that's going to go lower owned. 8th best average finish in the last 5 races, 6th best average position, and 65 laps led. I think he's going to go way lower owned than he probably should in this race. So that is going to make me somewhat interested in him as a dominator play. He starts 15th, gives you a little bit of place differential cushion. He only needs he can pay his salary off without leading laps. Only needs a top 4 to do it. I still think Nemechek's the most likely dominator, but Sheldon Creed is definitely up there. He'd probably be my second or 3rd most likely dominator, probably 2nd, and I think Enfinger would be 3rd. If I were to rank these 4 drivers, I'd probably go Nemechek 1, Enfinger 2, Creed 3, and Kligerman 4. That's how I'd rank those those top tier drivers. Now, if you're gonna, I probably wouldn't play like Creed and Nemechek in a line together, or Enfinger and Nemechek in a line together. You can find ways to get two of these other guys though. Like if you want to play Creed and Kligerman, I think that works, or Enfinger and Kligerman, I think that works. So, just know what you're doing, know how you're making these lineups. Building it off of expecting guys to lead laps. Austin Hill's up next. He needs to lead laps, pay off the salary. I mean, I'm really not a huge Austin Hill guy. I don't think he's really all that, to be honest. He hasn't really shown it this year. 4th best average finish at Darlington, 4th at intermediates, and 9th at steep tracks. 2nd best average position at Darlington, though, which is pretty solid. 8th at intermediates and 9th at steep tracks. No laps led at Darlington. He does have 372 laps led at intermediates and 106 laps led at steep tracks. In the last 5 races, Austin Hill's been consistently running well, just not really getting out front in lean laps. In fact, he has 0 laps led in the last 5 races, but the best average finish and the best average position. I think he'll finish high. I just have a hard time seeing him get out front. I probably won't get to him. I'll probably want more Nemechek, but I mean, it's not that much of a shocker if we see Austin Hill lead laps. I just think it's less likely than some of these other guys. Zane Smith would be another dominator. He's probably going to go under the radar. Starts 3rd at $9,600. He's going to have to lead laps to pay off his salary as well. 11th best average finish at Darlington, the best at intermediates, and 14th at steep tracks. But when we look at average position, 6th best at Darlington and 4th at intermediates. However, steep tracks have not been his specialty, only the 13th best average position. No laps led at Darlington, but 207 at intermediates and 50 at steep tracks. When you go look at the last 5 races for him, 8th best average finish, 6th best average position. Hasn't really been a start to the year I kind of expect him from Zane Smith. Honestly, from the whole GMS team, aside from Sheldon Creed, he's been fast. Everyone else has just kind of been eh. So I can understand not wanting to get there. Hill and Smith are definitely lower tier dominators that could get out front and lead laps. However, I definitely prefer Nemechek and Finger Creed over them. So I think there are guys that are interesting for tournaments, but it's still far off from those other guys. Matt Crafton, $9,400, starting 9th. Crafton's going to need a top 3 to pay off that salary. I'm fine going there. 9th best average finish at Darlington, 3rd best at intermediates, and the best at steep tracks. When you look at average position, his average position is much better at Darlington than his finish says. 4th best average position, 2nd at intermediates, and 4th at steep tracks. Only 127 laps led in intermediates and 19 steep tracks. I don't really expect him to get out front. He can. He has the occasional race where he does get out front and lead laps, but it's not a thing that we're really playing him for. Only the 13th best average finish in the last 5 races and 11th best average position. Hasn't been the greatest start this year for Crafton, but I mean we know what he's capable of, so I don't hate going there. A little bit more expensive than I would like to see him, but what the heck? My laptop is tripping right now. Sorry, this laptop's a piece of junk. Okay, back to the top. Yeah, Matt Crafton, just not going to be, not my favorite. I mean, he's a fine play. I think he's interesting tournament play, but a little more expensive than I want, but I don't hate going to him. Ben Rhodes, $9,200. I actually like Ben Rhodes here. He won a race a year ago, so I'm sure that'll give him some ownership. He starts 4th. He has the best average finish in the field, 6th best at intermediates, 3rd at steep tracks, 3rd best average finish at Darlington, 6th at intermediates, and 2nd at steep tracks. I don't even say what he needs to pay off his salary. He doesn't need to lead laps. Okay, that's what I figured. Only 4 laps led at Darlington, but 121 at intermediates and 24 at steep tracks is pretty solid. Last 5 races, 13th best average finish, 11th best average position, 19 laps led. Actually, now I'm starting to think about it. I mean, I think Ben Rhodes is an interesting play just because he has good numbers at this track, but he's probably going to get ownership because of that. I'd rather go to guys like Zane Smith and Austin Hill, who will probably be lower owned if I'm playing a dominator in this tier. So I think he's fine if you want to get there, but I mean, I think for me, he kind of grades out as a really similar play to Hill and Smith. So that's how I look at them. But I think Rhodes probably gets more ownership just because, he won last year. And, usually guys with better track history are what get more ownership. So probably going to be more on Hill and Smith if I'm going in this range for a dominator play. But Rhodes is fine if you want to get there. I don't hate it. Derek Kraus, $9,000 starting 20th. He needs a top 9 to pay off that salary. Now, I know he has good numbers at Darlington, 2nd best average finish. But none in the intermediates and steep tracks, and only the 10th best average position as well. So it's not like he really has run that well. Just ended up finishing well. I don't know why his average finishing position in the last 5 races aren't there. I don't know why that's not there. But I can go look at it later. Tune into the live stream. I'll know what it is then. But Derek Kraus, I mean, he hasn't been great this year. I mean, he can get a top 9. He's got that potential, but it's not something that I think is a given here or anything. So I'm not going to be too high on him. Stuart Friesen, $8,800, starting 7th. He only needs top 3 to pay off that salary. I'd like getting Stuart Friesen when you need a high finish from him because he is definitely capable of that. Probably isn't capable of getting out front and leading, but the high finishes are definitely there for him. 7th best average finish at Darlington, intermediates, and steep tracks. When you look at average position, 10th at Darlington, 9th at intermediates, and 6th at steep tracks. This year, he's been running pretty well as well. Average finish, the 3rd best average finish in the field the last 5 races, and the 5th best average position. So yeah, I'm fine with Stuart Friesen for sure. That's definitely going to be something I'm completely interested in. Bailey Curry at $8,600. He's too cheap. He only needs a top 18 to pay off that salary, and he's not in a 45. Last week he was in a 45 car for Nice Motorsports, and he ran very, very well. Let's go look at that. I mean, he finished 12th, I believe, in that race, so he had a good run. Was running pretty decently the whole race. He only needs top 18 to pay off that salary, but still in a niche truck. He's in a 44 this week. It's just a different number on the car or on the truck. It's the same team, same everything. So yeah, I'm fine with that. I actually really like Bailey Curry this week. That's going to be something I want to go back to. I like David Gilliland as well. Also going to need a top 18 to pay off his salary, starting 35th at $8,400. He's racing for his own team, the DGM truck. He hasn't really been great this year, only the 20th best average finish, but 17th best average position. Does show he's been running better than he's been finishing. I believe he's got caught up in a few accidents and a few races he's run, so I'm completely fine going there. I think that's a good tournament play, good cash play as well. Tyler Ankrum, he starts 16th, $8,200. He's going to need a top 9 to pay off that salary. I just don't like playing Tyler Ankrum, man. He's just not good. He's just not good. 8th best average finish at Darlington's not bad, but only 15th intermediates. 8th at steep tracks, though, is not terrible. But, I mean, an 8th best average finish in the last 5 races, 6th best average position. That's solid, but I don't know, man. Top 9 is kind of you're Tyler Ankram's ceiling is really 7th, 8th, 9th. I mean, in that range. He can get there. I'd probably just rather go up to, Bailey Curry and David Gilliland. They'll probably be more popular, but I mean, Ankram's fine if you want to get there, but it's just not something I'm really too interested in. Jordan Anderson, he's too expensive. He needs a top 17 to pay off this salary. Honestly, that's definitely wrong. Whatever. In the last 5 races for Jordan Anderson, 26th best average finish in the 31st best average position. That's not good, so we're going to pass on him. Chandler Smith, $7,900. He starts 8th. Chandler Smith, to pay off the salary, needs a top 6. He has the 15th best average finish, the 17th best average position, and 15th best average, 17th best average finish at intermediates, 15th at steep tracks, 8th best average position at Darlington, 15th at intermediates, and 11th at steep tracks. So he has been running a little bit better than he's been finishing. Chandler Smith last year got caught up in every single wreck possible. Been running well this year though. 5th best average finish in the last 5 races, 2nd best average position, and 24 laps led. Although that was that Richmond race where he just kind of got out front. Chandler Smith's not going to get out front. That's not what you're going for. He needs a top 6 to pay off the salary. Really like him as a tournament play here. This is going to be someone I'm going to have a lot of ownership to. It's probably not going to get a ton of ownership because he starts up higher and you have all these guys starting in the back around him, but I'm fine going to Chandler Smith for sure. Johnny Sauter needs a top 5. I don't know how much I feel about this one. 13th best average finish this year. 11th best average position. It's just not been his year, so I'm probably going to pass on that one. Todd Gilliland starts 5th. He's going to need to hang that spot too as well. Finish top 5. I'm sorry, Sauter needs top 6, not top 5. Gilliland needs top 5. I feel more confident in Gilliland finishing top 5 than Sauter, but still not really all that interested, although he has been running pretty well this year. It's just, I don't know. He's just not that great. 6th best average finish at Darlington, that's pretty good. So if you want to get there, I think that's fine. Probably not going to go there, though. Out of those 3, Chandler Smith stands out so much more to me than Todd Gilliland or Johnny Sauter. He's just such a better play to me than those guys. So definitely going to be way more interested in Chandler Smith. Ryan Truex, $7,500, starting 18th. Ryan Truex, hold on, where I lost my spot. Okay, top 11. He needs a top 11 to pay off that salary. Yeah, I don't really want to go there. That's just not who Ryan Truex is. 17th best average finish in the last 5 races. 20th best average position in the last 5 races. So really not going to be that interested there. Spencer Davis, a little too expensive for me as well. He's going to need a top 17. I just, don't really see from him. He just hasn't really been good at all this year, so I'm going to pass. Dawson Cram, $7,300. Cram needs a top 19 to pay off this salary. That's too expensive for Dawson Cram. We don't ever see him. I mean, yeah, that should just pretty much tell it to you how much we really like Dawson Cram. Okay, something's wrong here. You know what? I'm gonna start talking about the last 5 races because this is like Chase Purdy and Ryan Reed do not have the 8th best average finish in the last 5 races. I don't really know. I might have put the wrong stat in there or something. I don't know. You know what? That's why I got tuned into the live stream where we got things tuned out to really go through that because I'm gonna remember that I messed that up. So, if you subscribe to my Patreon, it'll be fixed because I kind of know what's happened, what I put wrong there. So, Timothy Peters, he's top 14. I mean, it could happen. I don't really expect it, but it could happen. It's just this is not a spot where I really want to get there. It's just not that's not what I'm looking for. Corey Himes, an ARCA driver, making his first start. He's driving for Kyle Busch. Motorsports this weekend, $6,900 starting 13th. If you want to go there, I mean, I think that's fine. That's a nice little tournament play. I'm interested to see how he does. I mean, I don't really know anything about ARCA, to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I watch ARCA races ever. I watch like when they go to Daytona and Talladega, and that's pretty much it. And it's only because I walk outside and I see it's on TV, and I'm like, all right, why not? Like he's fine. Top 10. I mean, it's a Kyle Busch Motorsports truck that you're getting for $6,900. Like that's the 51 truck Kyle Busch drives. So you're getting that for $6,900, but first time ever driver. I think he's a good tournament play. But that's really it. I mean, top 10, he could get that, but it is Darlington. It's not like this is like a really difficult track for drivers. So, Danny Bone, $6,800 starting 27th. He needs a top 18 to pay off that salary. Yeah, he could definitely get that. 14th best average finish at Darlington. This is a tournament play I definitely am interested in. Tanner Gray, he needs I believe, a top 10. I lost my spot again. Dang it. He needs a top 10 to pay off that salary, starting 11th at $6,600. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely possible. He looks like a good tournament play as well. BJ McLeod, he's driving for, Ramey Brothers this week. I mean, they're not really good at all. He's going to need a top 21. I don't see that truck getting a top 21 at all. That equipment's not good enough. Chase Purdy starts 24th. He needs a top 17. I don't like playing Chase Purdy because, he's in another GMS truck. Like, that is, that's what Tyler Ankrum drives. And, I mean, Purdy's also just, not good. Like, I just don't think Chase Purdy's that good. Top 17 could happen. It's definitely an interesting tournament play just because the equipment is good enough, but still not going to be all that excited. Really, Ryan Reed's the exact same play. He needs a top 15, not a top 17. He's also in a GMS racing truck. The thing about Ryan Reed is this is the number 24 that Lasar's been driving, but Lasar has no sponsorship, so he said, you're gone. And now Ryan Reed's taken over. I mean, Ryan Reed isn't like some special driver or anything, but he's in a good enough equipment to be considered for a tournament play. Tate Fogelman, he's going to need a top 22. I don't see that at $6,100. I mean, he did run well here last year, but overall, these other similar tracks, that's not going to be a spot I want to get to. Cody Rohrbach needs a top 19. That's going to be too much if you really want to get there. Corey Roper, he's going to need a top 21. I like it a little bit better than Rohrbach, but same thing. I just don't want to play those guys. Carson Hocevar and Austin Wayne Self both need top 14s. That's way more. I can see it happening way more than any of these three paying off their salaries. That's definitely possible. Those are two tournament punt plays that I like going to. Spencer Boyd as well. I think he's a little bit too underpriced. Now, Boyd really isn't great, but he needs a top 25. It could happen if some things go correctly for him, so I don't hate that. Chris Wright needs a top 23. I mean, he's been awful this year. I'm just going to pass at this point. Eric Darnell. All right, so Eric Darnell is a former Truck Series driver and a race winner. I believe he has, I looked at Wikipedia, I think he has 2 wins or something like that. Like, he is a former Truck Series driver, and he's in a good car. Like, he hasn't raced in, like 6-7 years, something like that. It might be a little more, to be honest. I don't remember the exact number. It's been a while. When he's a top 20 to pay off that salary, he's in a Nice truck, the number 45 truck. That's a top 20 truck for sure. I could see it happening. I mean, yeah, you got to temper your expectations for a driver who hasn't raced in forever. I guess, obviously, he wasn't like some great driver. I mean, he won a few races, so good enough, but not anything special. So, I think he's an interesting play. I think I'm probably going to get some exposure to him because he is just too cheap for that truck. That truck's just way too cheap, so I probably will have some exposure to it. And then Haley Deegan I really like as well. She only needs a top 14, which is basically what she was running around. She was running around top 10 all week, and then late race caution she fell back to 13th. But I still believe in the talent that is behind that car. For $4,800, I'm going to be willing to pay for that. She can lose 4 spots and still pay off that salary. I think that's where she should finish. She should be a top 15 driver every week, honestly. So, Norm Benning, Jennifer Jo Cobb, we're going to go to. Ekinori Ogata needs top 21, and a Ramey Brothers truck. I don't see it. So, that's really all I got to say. Sorry about the stats issue. I don't know. I know what I did wrong over there. Tune into the live stream on tomorrow night. We'll get that all figured out. I already knew what most of these guys were doing anyway. Just don't know the exact numbers anymore. It's just, yeah. I put them over there so I can read the numbers off to you. But, it's not like I haven't studied these stats or anything. So I did know. When I stopped talking about it, I did know what I'm talking about there. But, yeah. That's really all I got. Have a great rest of your day. Be sure to tune into the live stream, subscribe to Patreon, all that stuff. Have a great rest of your day.